In this video, we're going to learn about events. Events are really just actions that are detected by a program. And there's a number of these already implemented in Scratch. Basically, all these curvy top blocks are event handlers. And the way to read them is when event happens, then go ahead and execute some code. In this case, it says when green flag clicked, go ahead and execute this script. So we've already seen the green flag. There's another one to check if a space key was pressed. And notice it continuously checks this. So it's going to check if this ever happens at any point in the execution of your program. So let's go ahead and use this. So we can say hello for 2 seconds if the space key is pressed, and I just pressed the space key, and there we go. There's another one here that's useful, which checks if a sprite was clicked. And notice this is useful because you could think of this cat as a button, for example, or you could use another sprite as a button, and if you click it, then it's going to go ahead and say hello. And there's a number of other ones. Now, all the ones I just showed you were implemented in Scratch already, so Scratch is always checking if these events happen. But sometimes you want to make your own event handler. So let's go ahead and do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to be checking if the space key was pressed. And so what we want to do is check this continuously. So here we need a forever loop to continuously check if the space key was pressed. And we need an if statement to do the check. Okay, so we're continuously going to check if the space key is pressed. And if it's pressed, then we're going to say hello for 2 seconds. So let's run this. And you can see our program is waiting. And as soon as I press the space key, the sprite says hello. I can do that again, and then it works great. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, do we really need this forever loop? Maybe we can just put this statement here, and it'll run once, and it'll just detect one space click. Let's give it a try. Running the program, and then I'm going to press space, and nothing happens. The reason for that is that when we clicked on the green flag, we very quickly went through this program, and then we reached the end. And so we're not actually checking for this space key anymore. We're just at the end of the program, and nothing is happening. So you really need to be smart about always checking if an event is happening. And then once the event happens, then you have your event handler, which in this case is just to say hello. All right, so we know how to use the event handlers that are implemented in Scratch. We know how to make our own. I just wanted to show you something else, which was this broadcast code. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have our sprite here broadcast a message when we click on the space key. Okay, so let's go ahead, and when the space key is pressed, I'd like to broadcast a message. And this is kind of interesting because up until now the user was the one generating events, but you can also have the program generate events in a smart way. And the message is going to be start running. Okay, and so I'm going to create a second sprite here. Let's use the bee. And this bee is going to start running when it receives an event, and that event is the message that was just broadcasted from the sprite. Okay, and there's actually another curvy top box here that essentially starts or executes a script when you receive a message start running. Okay, and I'm going to use a forever loop to have this be run. And so if I start the program, you can see nothing's happening, but if I press the space key, the cat is going to send a message to the bee who's going to start running. And so that's a really useful way to have your sprites interacting, sending, and receiving events within the program. That's it.